Meanwhile, Tim Tebow, he's been making the rounds with the release of his new book, and he opened up on WNYC's Brian Lehrer show about how disappointed he was to see his time in New England come to an end. Lombardi dreams unfulfilled.
When I got to New England, it was, it felt like this is where I'm supposed to be, you know, and this was exciting. Okay, I get to play behind one of the best of all time. And then when he retires, Tom Brady. And then when he retires, it would be awesome. Play for Belichick, win Super Bowls. And then it didn't go the way that I wanted it to.
I feel for him. Stephen A., go.
You know, it's interesting. Tim Tebow. How can I put this? Because he's my friend. So I just want to understand that look, I don't root against Tim Tebow. I truly do not. But the boy can't throw. The man cannot throw the football. What would we be saying if somebody else who threw the football with 46% accuracy, 46% completion, because that's what he did, what would we be saying if they said, I thought I was going to be the successor to Tom Brady? What would we be saying to them?
Nothing.
Stop.
You know why?
Lying.
We wouldn't.
That is a lie.
We wouldn't be talking about
You know what?
them.
Let me tell you something right now.
At least he's honest, Stephen A. At least he's telling the truth.
Oh, he's telling the truth?
Yeah.
He's telling the truth.
He's admitting it. He's putting himself out there as being vulnerable to the world.
I need to go this route again.
And he's living
You
it.
stop mocking everyone's
And you know what, Stephen A., he's dreaming a new dream now. And he's living it.
Listen. Tim Tebow is an inspiration. Tim Tebow is a good guy. Tim Tebow was a fantastic college player.
You don't seem inspired.
I'm not inspired about anything he's discussing
He's your
as
friend.
it pertains to football. He's my friend.
In the words of Houdini, with friends like that, you don't need enemies.
Yeah.
Friends. How many of us have them?
Apparently not Tim Tebow. It's Stephen A. Smith.
All I'm trying to say to you is this, man. I mean, we got to be honest with our friends. If we can't be honest with our friends, who can we be honest to? It's a quarterback. You got to be honest with your friends. You can't sit up there and listen. What kind of a friend would I be if I told this man he could throw a football? And so knowing that you cannot throw a football on the professional level, knowing that it has been proven, knowing that the stats are there, the video's
Don't
there.
make us bring up Denver.
How in God's name could you? I swear, I'll tell you right now. I'll go upstairs and get somebody, try to get somebody fired. They show
There
me
it is. Oh, yeah. There it is. Can't do it in the NFL.
This is unbelievable.
Oh, wait, is that the regular season? Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, it's in the playoffs.
The worst moment of my life when I saw that. I never looked at my woman the same because she was with me after when that play happened, and I was just like, you know what? You might need to go. You might need to go.
You need to end your relationship.
It's bad luck.
Don't take it out on her.
Bad luck. I'm just saying. Molly, that was the most devastating experience I've had in the world of sports in years. I mean, I still haven't recovered from that, okay? Don't get me started. I'm in a good mood. But my point is this, Max. Friends look out for one another. Friends tell people this stuff. This dude is in baseball, batting 194.
He hit a home run.
Really?
He did.
That's where we going.
That's where we're going.
I'm actually impressed he's hitting 194.
This is unbelievable.
I just want you to know that.
Mollywood in the house. You got to be kidding me. I mean, the man.
There it is. Look at that.
Swing! First swing!
I don't make it up. I just
The
say that.
man's batting 194.
I got tape.
194. All right, so baseball clearly ain't his thing. All right, even though he went on The View and swore that he would keep it going because he's inspirational to us all. All I'm trying to say to you is this. You have the audacity to sit up there knowing that you couldn't even complete 50% of your passes, talking about how you thought you were going to be the heir apparent.
I could see him high-fiving Robert
These
Kraft.
are folks here who work with us. Why y'all looking at me like that? This don't make no sense. This man thought he was going to succeed Tom Brady? Come on, y'all.
I wish we could turn the camera on him.
Would we stop,
Maybe the best.
Oh, my Lord.
Maybe the best autobiography I've read from a political figure is The Audacity of Hope by President Barack Obama.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself before anyone else can.
He has the audacity of hope. Yes, he does.
Preach, Max.
And when you say the man can't throw, 46% completion, batting a $194 in the developmental league, whatever, you're right. What would we say about someone else? It would be different. You know why? We wouldn't be talking about them.
Because we wouldn't care.
Because Tim Tebow has qualities that inspire people. And one of those qualities is his lack of pragmatism. Now, that doesn't mean to suggest that everyone should be...
the ultimate pragmatist.
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't mean to suggest that that's a great example in terms of everyone living their lives with an utter lack of practicality and realism. But there is inspiration in Tim Tebow that people can draw on in their own lives.
Have you read The Secret?
He believes in himself.
Anything can happen.
No, The Secret is ridiculous. We're not talking about The Secret.
I love The Secret.
Don't bring it. No.
Can I
Keep that. You should have kept that secret. You should have kept that secret.
Can I address your audacity of homecoming?
Yes, please do.
Is far gone as it appeared. As miraculous as it was that we finally had a black president in the United States of America. Do you realize that in this great country of ours, in this day and age, that Barack Obama had a better shot at being the president than he or most other people had at being an NBA player? Did you realize that? Do you know why that is? Because shaking hands, kissing babies, being smooth and suave, looking good, highly intelligent, highly accomplished, and being about bringing people together instead of being divisive, ultimately could get you votes. Can't get him a jump shot. I thought Barack Obama loved playing basketball. Did you see him? Did you see him out there with those Secret Service men acting like they were really playing defense when in fact they knew better?
What he did?
When in fact they knew better than to defend against the president, and they let him shoot those jump shots. Couldn't make it to when it made it to the NBA. Now most people wouldn't. You know why?
What did he do?
Because we're not gonna. I'm just saying.
Dreamed a new dream.
No, what I'm saying
But
to
if
you
he
is
didn't
a new dream.
Yeah, and he became president. This is his new dream.
He was a junior senator before he became president. That means he made it to a point of elected office. It wasn't a
You're talking about
Tim Tebow, that spring football, baseball. That stopped.
You're talking about.
He played in high school.
You are talking about the absolute, the best relative meritocracy we have, which is sports.
That's right.
However, I'm talking about something bigger than that.
Really?
You don't have to pattern yourself after Tim Tebow or live your life in some kind of unrealistic fantasy about that involved in inspiration.
I don't find.
But you can draw from Tim Tebow inspiration. How? Barack Obama, no matter what you want to say about it being more realistic that he'd be elected president than play in the NBA, which is clearly true, he never gets to be president if he doesn't have the audacity of hope.
Listen.
And Tim Tebow will fail at baseball. He will not make it to the major leagues, but he's giving it a shot.
You can hope.
And people draw inspiration from that.
Stay with me, Max Kellerman. You can hope. You can dream. But it also helped that your predecessor was once a C student in college and he was the president of the United States of America, while you are sitting up there at Harvard and being the head of Harvard Law School and all of this other stuff.
All I'm saying in retrospect, there are reasons that events occur.
In retrospect,
they're not always obvious in the moment. You got to pursue it.
In retrospect,
anything can happen if you believe in yourself.
In retrospect, what I am saying to you is that it wasn't just hope and audacity; it was credentials that Barack Obama had. He had credentials.
Of course.
That is not Tim Tebow in baseball.
Tim Tebow
in baseball.
Tim Tebow doesn't.
Of course we know Barack Obama.
Does he have athletic credentials? Does he? Yes or no?
For baseball.
One of the greatest college players of all time.
Not for baseball.
Right, but because he is an inspirational, famous figure, he is afforded opportunities that others don't get, and people resent it.
So it's totally okay with you that Tim Tebow thought he was going to succeed.
Totally okay with me that he thought it. He'll be disabused of that notion through reality.
Through reality.
Good for him for pursuing his dreams.
Through reality, I understand. I stand educated, Max. I stand educated once
to read the audacity of hope.
No, I stand educated.
Melt your cold heart.
I want. Can I look? Hold on. Can y'all put the camera on me? I want to look at America and I want to say I am sorry. I apologize because damn it, I should have known better than to think of squelching or squashing Tim Tebow's thoughts and dreams that he could succeed Tom Brady. Oh, I am so disrespectful. I am so wrong. I apologize, Molly. I apologize.
No question for me. It's been our decision here to play the hot hand and keep going with Dak, and have Tony, who has handled this with such class and such professionalism in terms of what's in the best interest of our football team at this moment. But certainly been very difficult for everybody because of all the great things Tony's done for our franchise.
Oh, Max. What does this say about the Joneses?
I think it says really good things, to tell you the
Really?
truth. Yes, I do. Look, the NFL is ruthless in terms of their efficiency, right? And that's ideally how business works. That business should be very efficient, and they run the team as a business and all that. But there is a redeeming quality about people who not only value loyalty, but reciprocate it. Who have, and this happens even with bad people who play for the Cowboys. You see Jerry Jones come out and defend them and like, dude, you can't defend that guy. Do you know what that guy just did? I mean, how many times are we up here talking about that? And it's because Jerry Jones, in his personal experience, and Marcellus Wiley, my former broadcast partner, happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday, Marcellus.
Yeah. So, but Marcellus Wiley used to talk about this. He played 1 year for Jerry Jones. Didn't play well. I mean, for Bill Parcells on the Cowboys, and has nothing but good things to say about Jerry Jones. The people who play for him like them because he has their back no matter what. He's a loyal guy, and you see it in Stephen Jones too. Now, it's not toward every player all the time. In this case, it's the quarterback, the longtime quarterback. That bodes well for Dak Prescott. That would make me, if I were a player, want to play for the Cowboys, that they not only demand loyalty, but reciprocate it, even when it's unpopular. And I think that's why, and in this case, they handled the whole thing right the whole time. Well, it's Romo, it's Romo, it's Romo. Okay, maybe it's Dak. Okay, now it's Dak. Hey, Tony, can you hold a press conference just telling everyone so we can move on? And what's Romo supposed to say at that point? No to the people who have been that loyal to him? I'm sure Romo, though it was difficult, probably said, in this imagined conversation in my own mind, probably said, I got to do what I got to do for these people. They do it for me. And it is a redeeming quality of the Cowboys and of Jerry and Stephen Jones.
I'm being a little emotional right now because Max was so touching in what he just said. I mean, oh my Lord, the Dallas Cowboys are loyal and they're just so sensitive.
You as cold as ice, Stephen A.
No, I mean, hold on. Jerry Jones is such a wonderful guy, and so is Stephen Jones. I mean, Molly, isn't it touching? Isn't it touching? I mean, are you listening to Max Kellerman sit here talking about how touched he is about the Dallas Cowboys? Are you kidding me? Y'all make me sick with this nonsense. All right, fine. You're a boss, and you know what? This guy has performed for me for years, so because of that, it was such a hard decision. What the hell was hard about it? What was hard about it? Tony Romo's won 2 playoff games in 10 years? That's what's hard? That's what's hard? How about your fan base? How about the people the paying customers that you charge, the exorbitant prices that you charge to come to your $1 billion playpen? How about that? How about the fact that they haven't had, what's the last time the Dallas Cowboys been in the NFC Championship game? 1995, was that the year? I mean, I'm not looking, but I didn't see it. I got my glasses on right now. It was 1990. I mean, refresh my memory. David Sabino, is that true? Is it 1995? I mean, I think that's what it is. Not 1995 is 2016, going into 2017.
Hold on, carry the one.
Which carries the one over, which makes about 21 and a half years, 22 years, okay? 22 seasons you ain't been in a conference championship game with your $1 billion playpen, with all the headlines and everything like that. And we're supposed to sit up here and get all emotional. I mean, just Stephen Jones didn't even have the father didn't even have the decency to put that quote out there. It was the son. What was that, on Skype? Talking to fans and stuff.
That was a tight shot, though.
What was it? What was it?
Stephen A., that's a tough angle for anybody right there.
What am I missing? What am I missing? Stephen Jones, it was just by far, it was just the hardest decision that I've ever seen. So a guy that wins 2 playoff games for you in a decade, 2 in a decade, that you are paying about $108 million.
Maybe he needed Dak to count up some more wins.
It's so hard. It's so hard. So let me get this straight. Tony Romo getting paid lovely. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be. There's no issues with him. The checks are coming. I think I remember correct. Checks are coming. Even while you got the back surgeries, even though while you're on the sideline with your Dallas Cowboy paraphernalia, even while you got the headsets on, don't have to take the hits to the back now. Don't have to worry about the broken collarbone now. Lord knows the house is chill. And by the way, there's no state income taxes in Texas. I mean, my Lord. I mean, he's getting all that money. Let him come to New York. Let New York or New Jersey get some of those dollars in taxes, okay? But Tony Romo doesn't have to worry about that either.
You know,
and somehow, some way, I'm supposed to be touched. Go
when
ahead.
people ask our bosses, who do you think wins those debates, Max or Stephen A? And they're like, well, it's really hard, but, you know, Max beats him, but Stephen A really does great. They don't really mean that you do great compared to me. They're trying to protect your feelings.
The boss doesn't say that. The bosses are thinking about getting you a new wardrobe, my man. They're tired of damn black and blue suit. They're tired of black and blue suit. That's what they're tired of, okay? They want you to step it up. They want you. When you going to see Max or something like this, Molly? But we won't go there. We won't go there.
Molly, just tell him. Tell him. He doesn't know.
All I'm trying to say is this.
So
are we really supposed to be so
What would you like them to do differently?
No. All I'm trying to say is this. You know what?
Not say that it's that
Treat him.
Why?
Time out. I don't know what this is, but here's my answer. Treat him like you would treat any quarterback who won 2 playoff games for you in a decade. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Is that too much to ask, Bollywood? I don't think that's too much to ask.
They handled this perfectly, and they continue to handle it perfectly.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. If something should happen to Dak Prescott, if for some reason his play falls off, or you don't wish injury on anyone, but some unforeseen incident should occur, and they need Tony Romo, do they want a Tony Romo who has the vote of confidence of the organization, who feels like they've had his back all along, or do they want a Tony Romo who feels abandoned? They are doing the right thing by the quarterback.
That is a good point for backup situations the rest of the season. That was a very good point.
By the way, feel abandoned. That's what we said.
And by the way,
we said.
They haven't handled. It's not like they actually didn't play Dak once Romo got better, right? Had they done that, then I would say, wait, this comment's out of line because Dak had the highest QBR in the most games this season and yada, yada, yada. That's not what happened. They're just paying lip service to Tony Romo to keep his confidence up, and somehow that's a bad thing?
Tony Romo.
Yeah, sometimes Stephen A wins debates. They need your confidence up.
I'm just saying, he
doesn't have a confidence problem. Don't worry about that.
We talked about, no, I don't. So we talked about Tony Romo, and I just want to make sure I'm clear. We talked about his feelings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tony Romo's feelings.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Tony Romo, 6 years.
Yeah.
$108 million.
Yeah.
Good about that.
Including,
Keep getting them checks.
Hold on. Including a $25 million signing bonus. $55 million in guaranteed dollars.
Yeah.
An average annual salary of $18 million per.
He can feed his family this Christmas.
This year alone, his base salary was $8.5 million.
Buy some therapy.
All right. So I'm just sitting there going like this. Really? That's where we are. We're talking about his because you know what?
Stephen A. Smith, you callous.
We don't want him to feel abandoned in case he has to get back in the game. We need him to feel good.
I just want to ask you a question, Hollywood. Yeah. We don't want the $108 million quarterback who's won 2 playoff games in his career to feel abandoned.
No. We need his mind right in case he's got to step in. I'm swaying to Max's side during this argument.
I need to say it.
All about the money. It's just mostly about the money.
It's always about the money.
It ain't all about the money.
It's mostly about the money. Mostly about the money. It's not all about the money.
All about the Benjamins, baby. It's not about the Benjamins, right? $108 million, $55 million guaranteed, $25 million signing bonus. But we want to sit here and be sensitive to Tony Romo's feelings. Really?
Yeah.
You know.
And by the way, if I was Dak Prescott, I'd feel good about playing for this organization. Because when I'm old and a young kid replaces me, this is the treatment I can expect.
I would feel. I recall Jerry Jones mistreating Emmitt Smith. I'm just saying.
Yeah, not a quarterback.
I'm sorry. Oh, not a quarterback. So now we're going by position.
Yep.
Oh, so it's not the player.
Yep.
It's the position.
Yep.
And you see, because understand something. 1 minute he's saying it's the player because he brought in Marcellus Wiley, who didn't have that great of a year. Yep. This is what Max said, not me.
Certainly did not.
Okay, so that's what he said.
Do that, Max voice again.
He didn't have that great year. Right? But Jerry Jones treated me great. But he mistreated Emmitt Smith now. I'm just saying.
Here's the other thing about Tony Romo. When at the end of a running back's career, when they're not good anymore, that's one thing. Tony Romo, when healthy, is still an excellent player. The issue
by the way,
is simply his availability.
Hold on.
3 of the last 4 seasons.
And you said what about his availability?
He's unavailable usually. Right, but now he is.
Oh, really?
His availability is the best ability.
It's Wednesday. What that got to do with Sunday?
Because he's not playing, so he should remain available in case that isn't.
I'm saying
you want his confidence high.
Kellerman has sounded so bad about Tony Romo that even if Tony Romo was playing this Sunday, Max would sit there and say, well, it's Wednesday. Anything can happen between now and Sunday with him.
That's right.
That's what you would say.
That's why he's best served as a backup.
Really, exactly.
And where the Cowboys have him, by the way.
I never said he wasn't best served as a backup.
And that's where the Cowboys have him.
I'm talking about his feelings.
So you don't like the comments they're making supporting him?
I'm saying to you, you seem touched by their feelings for him.
Yeah.
And so do you.
We're playing mind games.
So
Stephen A. Smith, you can mock everyone's humanity. That doesn't discount it.
Mocking their humanity? Sure, Molly. I'm being cruel, Molly, because $108 million man, $55 million guaranteed. His feelings, y'all. Let me ask the camera folks over there. I'm insensitive. I'm insensitive, fellas. That's what it is. That's what I'm insensitive to Tony Romo. You got to be kidding. Hold on. Let me get my tissue.
If I made $108 million,
feelings too.
I'm getting emotional right now, okay? Stephen Jones, let's go to break.
All right.
I'm just getting emotional.
We get to see the Cowboys play tomorrow, Thursday night football against the Vikings.
Tony Romo's feelings, his feelings, y'all. $108 million. His feelings. Be sensitive.
We don't want him to feel abandoned, okay? Coming up.